सहना vavatu सहनौ भुनक्तु सह
Something's
वीर्यं.
wrong.
Oh, sorry, what happened? Sorry, I'm going to start over, okay? Is everything okay with everyone? You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay, so we finished verse 10, which was a very important verse because it was, if everybody remembers, it was sar of the whole thing, and it talked about the three different paths, the karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and jnana yoga, and how there are some people who, by understanding Krishna Bhagwan's divine birth and his action, by understanding it with essence, they also can get moksha. So that was a whole 9 and 10. That's where we finished. So let's go to verse 11 now. Whoever has the Bhagavad Gita, please open to verse 11 of chapter 4. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tanstathaiva bhajamyaham mam vartmanuvartante manushya partha sarvashah. Ye is who, yatha is in whatever way, mam is me, prapadyante approach, tan them, tatha so, eva even, bhajami reward, aham I, mama is mine, vartma is path, anuvartante is to tread or follow, manushyaha men or people, human beings, parth is of course Arjun, parth, sarvashaha in all ways. So let's see what this verse is going to talk about now. So we understood that basically he's saying that anybody can, if they do the right thing, can attain moksha. So couple of questions might arise in people's mind. One would be, is Bhagwan partial to people, who approach him and he doesn't care about other people? That kind of thing. And then the second question can be, then why everybody doesn't want that, right? If it can be done, then why not go for the highest? So those are the two kind of questions in the next two verses. So Bhagavad Gita follows like a logic, So we have to know what was the previous verse and then what is the connection to this one now. So, and I also told you guys that how the same topic is being picked up in many different chapters and opened up more and more and more. So this particular verse, has, you will see that how once we reach those other, and I'll a little bit talk about the other chapters because it's a good time to kind of solidify this whole concept over here. And what this concept is, that each one approaches Bhagwan in the way they want to. So the approach is all different. And then some people, they may say that, oh, I don't believe in Bhagwan. I'm just, I want this, something. What they forget is, anything you get in this world is from him only. So if we understood, it's like the wave and the ocean. The wave is saying, I can be by myself. I don't need you. That's not possible. A wave is not a wave if it's removed from the ocean. So it's like I may deny it, Bhagwan, or I may say that, I'm not approaching, I'm a self-made man and this and that. All that washes out over here because nothing can be done without Bhagwan. Whatever you get in whatever form from the world, from above, everything is from him. If we understand that, then we will understand this verse. So how you approach Bhagwan depends upon you. And whichever way you approach him, that's how he meets you. So what happens is in the world, I may say, I want wealth and I want power and I want this or that. I may not go and pray to Krishna Bhagwan then. I might find a wealthy person, and I might go and, uska picha karungi main. I will go and try to kind of get the power or money from them. And if I do it correctly, I will get it. So there is nothing that, hey, I'm not going to give you this. Whatever effort you put in, whatever way you approach, you will get that. So in other chapters, Krishna Bhagwan opens it up more and more, this concept. So like sometimes Swamiji used to say, instead of doing the Bhagwan ka jap, people do $I Namaha. Uska jap karenge to wo mil jayega tumko. So तुम्हारी जो भी डीप इच्छा होएगी और उसके हिसाब से तुम काम करोगे, तुमको वो जरूर मिलेगा. So that's what happens. जिस और एक I think रामायण में भी चौपाई है. I don't know exactly. Maybe मीरा जी might know कि जिसकी रही भावना जैसी, something like that, right? उसी को वैसे ही भगवान मिलते हैं.
जाकी रही भावना जैसी हरि मूरत देखई.
There you go. So that's what happens. And I was just thinking about it. Some of those characters from our history and our Puranas, उन्होंने भगवान के साथ दुश्मनी की, तो भगवान उनके शत्रु भी बन गए और उनको मोक्ष दे दिया शत्रु. Because they were basically idea was कि वो लोग they were like so engrossed in भगवान, पर शत्रुता का भाव था उनका. But they were सुबह से शाम तक उनको वही दिखाई देते थे. So that's what is the variety. So that tells us, at our level, we should not be thinking that my way is the only way. Okay? You can approach him in any way. And the second part is, I think that even Joe brings that point up. Everybody is going towards him. So nobody is not going, they're taking different paths. They may be still ignorant about it. Eventually they will get it. So, and the example that one of the Swamis gave about that was, it's like water. Okay, when it falls, when the rain falls, firstly the water is soaked up from the ocean and all that in other places, and then when it comes down, the goal of the water is to reach the ocean only. We know that वो गंगा से भी शुरू होता है तो वो end में वो सागर में जाके मिलती है, right? So the concept is, it can take longer, it can go through different routes, and some may directly fall in the ocean, but the goal is to fall in the ocean. That's why once we have that understanding, we should not be criticizing anybody. Just focus on your own thing and see how you want to approach him, because everybody is approaching him only. It's kind of this concept clear? Anybody has a question about this concept? So, and then also this Swami brought this very good point. He's saying that's why our, Sanatan Dharma is so tolerant, about different devatas also. So now let's look at, people sometimes, क्या बोलते हैं, devatas किसको बोलते हैं? Let's look at this. They do the puja of the devata. Devata actually is, we have talked about, is the one that illumines. So it's our five senses also. So five senses ke bhi devatas hai, right? They have Varun Devata and this and that. So it depends, like some people might just do the aradhana and puja of one devata. Kisi ko shakti chahiye, kisi ko, bal chahiye. I mean, bal to and shakti is the same. Money chahiye, kisi ko power chahiye. So wo different devatas ko karenge. And wo bhi, un devata ko bhi kahan se mila? Power. वो higher भगवान से ही मिला है. So even though they may not know they are doing the aradhana of indirectly they are doing of Bhagwan. But if you approach directly, that's where you can get moksha. But people don't do that because of various different reasons, and he's going to open it up a little bit more. Okay, so with that we can read. Oh yeah, there's one more thing that I told you that they were in different chapters. They have opened it up different way. In chapter 7, they have talked about that there are, and I see Meenaji nodding as she knows, there are 4 kinds of devotees, and it is kind of related to it, so I can talk about that because it's not that difficult to understand. When we go there, we will again go dwell more into it. So कोई भी मंदिर के बाहर खड़े होके देखो तो there are 4 टाइप के लोग आएंगे वहाँ पे. एक होंगे the people who are in trouble. Okay, it can be financial trouble, it can be health trouble, it can be family trouble, whatever trouble. Arth they are called, means they're people who are like एकदम परेशान हो चुके हैं और हे भगवान तू ही मेरा सहारा है, kind of those kind of people. So sometimes what happens with those people, trouble goes away, भगवान भी चले जाते हैं उनके दिमाग से. So that's arth. Yeah, there are 2 interpretation of the arth. The other interpretation of that is that दुनिया में मेरे सब कुछ है तो भी मुझे कुछ missing लग रहा है, and then I approach. So both explanations are good. And the second type are मुझे कुछ चाहिए, मुझे मेरी बेटे की शादी हो जाए, मेरे को बड़ा घर चाहिए, मुझे when people are younger, I want this car, I want that car, I want this career, I want this admission in this college, I want this job. Artharthi they are called, means seekers of material things. So they will go. So that's how they approach Bhagwan. It's like इंडिया में तो बहुत होता है, मैं 101 का नारियल चढ़ाऊंगी, मैं ये करूंगी वो करूंगी. Probably we all have done in our younger days all those things. They are artharthi. वो इंडिया में तो लाइन लगी होती है ऐसे लोगों की. And then the third one is jigyasu. Jigyasu is, I want to know, who is God? Is there a God? Who is he? How do I approach him? All that, you have a lot of questions. Moksha nahi hai uske dimag mein. I just want knowledge. So Bhagavan said, don't worry, I will give you that also. Because in chapter 10, he says that he gives buddhi yoga. He will give you the understanding of who God is and all that. And the 4th one is the jnani, who has very well intellectually understood that, that relationship between like the ocean and the wave, that I am that, everything is from him. And that person's only anxiety is that feeling that oneness. That's the jnani. And if jnani approaches, and that's the one that Bhagwan says, I like him the best. That he doesn't say right now. He will say in chapter 7 that I love the jnani. Even though I'm not partial to anyone, but automatically it is like, how much effort you put, that's what you get back. That's what it is. So that's what this verse kind of is touching upon it, and then it's going to open up more and more. And right now I'm on chapter 9 with the translation, what I'm doing. In the same way, chapter 9 mein bhi hai. Same concept is there. Bhagwan says that, people approach chota-mota gods. इधर उधर डायरेक्टली नहीं जाते हैं. और एक दृष्टांत, आई डोंट नो आप लोग ने सुना है कि नहीं, कि एक साधु और काइंड ऑफ भिखारी तो नहीं बोलना चाहिए, साधु टाइप का पर्सन गोज टू ए किंग एंड ही वांटेड समथिंग, भिक्षा, बिकॉज people they don't even have their kitchen and all that, so food and some money and all that. So वो दरवाजे पे गया और बोला कि मुझे तुम्हारा बादशाह कहाँ है, मेरे को उससे कुछ मांगना है. तो बोला वो बादशाह कुछ कर रहा है. बोला क्या कर रहा है? तो बोला वो भगवान से मांग रहा है, बिकॉज तो उसने तो ये तो पलट के लौटने लगा. तो फिर वो टाइम पे राजा आ गया. राजा बोला व्हाई यू गोइंग अवे, सेइंग मैं सोचा था मैं ही भिखारी हूँ, तू भी तो भिखारी निकला, तू भी तो मांग रहा था, तू उससे मांग रहा था, मैं उसी से मांग लेता हूँ, फिर तेरे को क्यों मांगू मैं. So that's what it is, that hey, why don't you go direct approach, why you're going this sidey business. That's the point in this one. So that was one thing. Okay, let's see.
There's one more which I don't know, you covered it, but I sent one song to everybody. It's called Viraha.
Viraha, okay.
Viraha. means you are missing him so much. You are totally enjoying, worshipping him, which is a very different kind of not intellectual.
Bhakti.
In fact, that song I sent explains that, because there were some people who sing Virab. That guy died, Agarwal, but this lady, she's singing on the same tune, and you can feel the devotion in her voice.
So
Once you start enjoying that, then all the intellectual thing disappear.
तो वही है ना कि सबका अलग अलग है. किसी को भक्ति में बहुत रस आता है, किसी को ज्ञान योगा में बहुत रस आता है, किसी को बाल गोपाल की सेवा करने में बहुत रस आता है. एंड व्हाट कृष्ण भगवान इज टेलिंग ओवर हियर इज everybody is approaching me, it does not matter. So that's why this concept has many different aspects to it, and one is that, hey, everybody is okay according to that, and when their right time will come, they will change. So we have to develop that tolerance with us also. And then this one of the Swami also said that karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, these are direct paths. So when you are doing this, you are directly approaching by a proper understanding in that. And that's why Krishna Bhagavan laid out the path, But whoever is seeking whatever in the world is, they are ultimately seeking Bhagavan only, because one of the Swamis explained it, that what do people want in life? Let's think about it. You say, okay, I want money, house. Why do you want that? So that I'll be happy, so that I'll be satisfied, so that I will chill, right? I'll feel so comfortable, right? So if everybody is seeking that is what the gunas of the Bhagwan is anyway. Happiness, peace and all that. That's what everybody is seeking. Their approach is different, depending on their own mind. That's where it is, the whole picture is. And even Nastik also. Nastik thing.
Make a comment here.
Yes.
Since Bhagwan says that all these other devtas, they get their energy from me. So one example, one drishtant, as I was given, is that all these other devtas are like the leaves of a tree, and they're all being, and the root is Bhagwan. They're all getting their energy and their power from Bhagwan. So instead of trying to, put water and tulsi and everything on every single leaf, why don't we just go to the root?
Beautiful example. Yeah, very nice example. And the other example,
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
And worship the root.
Yeah, exactly. Go directly. And one other example that Swami Chinmayananji gave was, to explain this idea of that all the other devta also got the power from him only, that it's like a government. Okay, that government offices are there, and so you go to, suppose if you want to build a building or do some construction or modification, so you will go to the department and he will go to a person who will give you the authority to change it with the proper papers and all that. Where did he get that authority? He didn't bring it from his home. The government provided him. And those chota mota devata, they can be fired also. Okay, they don't do the job right, boom, out. Same way. So chota mota devata are not permanent. So we are approaching, people who are like themselves. Yes, they are more powerful than us. Sure, that's why I am. But what Krishna Bhagavan is giving you a hint, go to the big boss directly. Don't waste your time. That's what it is. But if somebody wants to take a longer route, it is their problem. Let them do it that way. That's all. Okay, anybody else has anything to add? Okay, we can go read now.
There are a couple of things in this. That some of them, those devatas, like the Govardhan incident, that Krishna Bhagavan had to tell the people who are worshipping Indra to stop worshipping him and worship me.
Why did he do that, you think?
Indra got mad.
I know, but why did Krishna Bhagavan felt that he has to change their approach?
Because he was not managing properly.
Because उनको डर से कर रहे थे वो.
Yeah.
ओ वो नहीं देगा तो बाप रे कुछ हो जाएगा. And he said, no, why you are afraid of that? He's just doing his job. And then he also said that there are other things in the world that give you everything. The Govardhan Parvat, look, it's giving you everything too. So I think that there is a very good point in there. We have to be thankful for everything in the world. You cannot be selective. Oh, I'm going to just do this, because you are missing out the other people who are helping indirectly, directly, and all. And that's why I think that there are some people I have seen, वो लोग जैसे कि जाते हैं ना किसी सत्संग में, तो ऐसे करके सभी को नमस्कार करेंगे. वो तुमको जो भी हो उसको नमस्कार है, because it's like oneness. Everybody is helping each other in some. It's like a big web out there, and we don't know who is helping us in what way. That's another way of looking at it. It's like trying to expand your own thinking about it, So that's what I understood from that Govardhan thing, that people fear में कर रहे थे, और जब उन्होंने बंद किया वो पूजा, तो उसको गुस्सा भी आया देवता को.
Yeah.
And he started trying to, so the Krishna Bhagavan ने उसको दिखा दिया कि you are nothing. You are getting your power from the higher self. That's what it is. Like all the energy on the earth, whether we get solar energy or we get battery or we get gas or whatever, everything is sun only. The main energy has come from the sun. That's how we have to look at it. Okay, who's going to read? Any volunteer to read? Anilji, you want to read? Oh, sorry, me. You can, either one of you.
Yeah,
You want me to
Anilji
read?
can read. Yeah, please.
Neeraj, go ahead.
Neeraj, go
Yes,
ahead then.
I did. Please go ahead, Anilji.
All right. In whatever way men approach me, even so do I reward them. My path do men tread in all ways, O son of Partha. Attachment and aversion are not the weaknesses of the Lord. He is a mass dynamism, the source of all activities and achievements. We are given the equipment through which we can, as we like, invoke this infinite mind. If we rightly invoke and carefully use the equipment as a reward for our intelligent self-application, we can reach the goal of our activities. If we misuse them, the very same divine force can be the cause of our utter disaster.
So here I want to explain that Swamiji has taken a different approach, and it is also very appropriate. He's talked about that how that consciousness is the main power to run the whole cosmos, but what you do with it depends on you. So you can, and he's going to give several examples, and you will see, and one of the very good examples is about the gas in the car. Gas is not responsible for the accident. When you push the pedal, gas is going to go forward. How you steer, it's up to you. Either you can reach your goal or you can have an accident. But gas, in some ways, blesses both, in a sense. When you press the pedal, you are invoking. So when you invoke Bhagwan, he is going to give you all the power and energy. If you misuse it, it's your problem. You have done it. So that's the approach he has taken, that somebody can, or the same thing like sunlight. We have determined that without sunlight, we cannot do any karma. Nothing we can do. At least with our karmendriyas, we cannot do anything. Now, if somebody does a puja or studies Bhagavad Gita, or somebody goes and kills somebody, sunlight is in some ways enabling each one to do that, but it's their choice, and you cannot blame the sunlight. You can blame your own equipment or your own mind and all that, how they did it. So that's the concept he's bringing in.
The strength of fuel in the petrol can be converted into horsepower through the mechanism under the bonnet. we can invoke the horsepower to reach our destination, or we can easily dump ourselves into a mess of twisted wreckage on the wayside and become a bundle of broken bones. These accidents are caused by the carelessness of the driver. Although the strength and power with which the car dashes down the embankment of the road is no doubt supplied by the same petrol, but the strength in the petrol had no attachment for those whom it guided home safe, nor can we say that it had a hatred for those whom it wrecked. With neither attachment nor hatred, the petrol gives its power when invoked through the mechanism of the engine. But how to make use of the power depends upon us and our wisdom in employing it.
So everybody understood this concept, right? This is a very, very important concept because this will go through the whole Gita about this, Okay.
The atomic energy released can be made use of for the peaceful purposes of progressive life, or it can be employed in wiping away the total existence from the fair face of the globe. If we make use of the atom bomb only for the purposes of destruction and devastation, the atomic energy is not at all responsible for it. It is the cruelty of the man who thus misuses it.
So that's also a beautiful example that a very powerful energy you can destroy or you can do something good with it. And the way I'm looking at it, the technology right now is the same way. Some people are, oh my God, because of the phone, this is happening. But the button is in your hand. The remote is in your hand. If you don't want something, it's up to you. Those things are available to you, but don't blame that. Blame, how you're handling it. Simple.
I thought these examples were great because just to make it clear that you have so much power available.
True.
It's up to you how you want to use it.
Yes. And that's what it is, infinite power available to everybody. And, if you approach it correctly, you can, and what Bhagwan is saying, you can go moksha अगर तुमको मोक्ष चाहिए वो भी मिल जाएगा. पर फिर लोग बोलते हैं नहीं मुझे मोक्ष चाहिए फिर उसके पीछे 100 other desires होती हैं. That's what we don't recognize that मुझे ये भी चाहिए और वो भी चाहिए, then that doesn't work. So wherever we put our thing, Bhagwan is just say, yeah, bless you, तथास्तु कर देते हो फटाक से. और किसी ने बोला कि whatever हमारे deep desire होती है ना हमारे अंदर, कभी ना कभी fulfill होती है वो. Maybe not in this life, in the next life. Bhagwan knows he's everywhere. He's like, so if, he has his own way of distributing power through his own system. So I cannot say, if I have put effort in it, if I want it, and you will see, if I want something very bad, I do put effort in it. Does everybody agree? अगर मेरे को कोई चीज में एकदम पैशन है तो मैं उसमें डालूंगी ही और उसका रिजल्ट मिलेगा. So but we don't, हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि they won't put proper effort and then they blame. Oh, I'm not getting this and everybody's getting it. Hey, how much you have done for it? You will get it. There is no doubt you will get it. So
aren't we contradicting ourselves here, what we learned earlier?
About
where
what?
we said that it is the outcome is not entirely in our hands. We can put in our effort, and then there's the outcome versus the fruit. The fruit we will definitely get, whether sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, but the outcome on earth, the material outcome, is not entirely in our hands.
Why do they say that it is not? Because see, in Bhagavad Gita, that's why I always say there is nothing to be put in a box. Those are concepts that you have to understand like this. So why do they say that it is not in our hand? Let's discuss that. That's a very important point. And I think we should have a proper understanding of that. And it will come out with some discussion. Why did they say that?
Why do I think that way?
Yeah, or whatever you understood.
Yeah, because to me it makes sense because I don't because of my past karma, perhaps, that I'm not supposed to receive that result which I want, or because of somebody else's past karma, who is And a simple thing is like, I want to be first in my class, right? So I work very hard towards that study and do everything required. But somebody else also wants to be first in class, and only one person can be first. So who is going to be the first is and who's going to be second and third depends on, I guess, our karma and how they are going to interact.
So what it is the way I understood about it is your whatever karma we do, the reach is very far and it affects many different people and many different things which we don't understand. It's like a very big picture. We are looking at a small piece of pie. And I'm judging it from that perspective. Oh, look, I put so much effort. And one point you said is very true. There are other people who have put more effort than you. How do you know? So Bhagwan is called the karma phal data. So in the end, true. He will give the result according to his, that's why I mentioned that according to his own system. But it's a very fair system. Like our Acharya used to say from Houston, there is no mistake in God's math. You may sit and cry that mere ko ye nahi mila, wo nahi mila, but if you wear God's hat, you will see 100% clear. In fact, there is a drishtant. A very nice drishtant is this. One fellow approaches Bhagwan and says, mere bete ko ye de de. Something, So Bhagwan ne bola, acha main ek kaam kar, tu meri hat pehn le aur tu hi de de, right? उसने जैसे ही hat पहनी ना, guess क्या हुआ? वो बोला, अरे सभी मेरे बेटे दिखाई दे रहे हैं मुझे. Now I have to be fair. I cannot give just. एकदम से change हो गया. And since I'm on chapter 9, there's a very interesting, another concept is there. There's I want this, I want that, we are looking at from a lower level, right? I want this, I want that. So the question is, किसी ने बोला, Swami ji, that means whatever I want, I can get? I want that Mercedes, I can get it? So he said, yeah, you approach God, but he's saying that the more you approach God and you more line up with Him, you will not want that. What would you want then? You will want to do seva of the entire world, because then you will want what God wants. What does God want? He wants to take care of everybody. So all of a sudden your desire is going to become His desire, and His desire is different than yours. So तुम खुद ही change हो जाओगे. I thought he explained it so beautifully, because we are looking at it from a lower level, But the moment you go more and more close to Him, तुम्हारा सारा change हो जाएगा attitude. And as far as desires and what we want, we know in our own lifetimes, is all of us are like, people who are like, we have experienced life quite a bit already. Whatever you wanted when you were 20, you don't care about it. Or 30 or 40, now your priorities are totally different. So here he's talking about the spiritual priority. So when we are talking about this, I think what the point that I was trying to make through this verse was that Bhagwan is declaring that तुमको जो चाहिए अगर तुम उसमें effort डालोगे मिल जाएगा, but those things are going to be temporary happiness and satisfaction. So they are going to be just fleeting ones. And sometimes, like Swami Chinmayanand used to say, that in the world you can get, money, fame, yeah, but we all know it doesn't last, number one, and then in the end you have to drop everything anyway. So you are putting this much effort in it, and you are getting very little. Whereas if you go towards, I want Bhagwan, तुम मोक्ष के पाठ में जाओगे तो तुमको सब कुछ मिल जाएगा. That's what the difference is, that your bargain is like not a good one if you don't approach directly. That's the whole point through this. Okay. So.
See, the main idea is you wouldn't want anything, and if you get something, you'll accept it. That is what your destiny is. So effort you do and you dedicate to God, then the result comes from God, not from you. So you shouldn't say that I did so much effort and I didn't get anything. Geeta.
You can look at it from a bhakti or gyan or karma yoga part, any part. But the whole picture, at least we should understand. The power is all from there. Where I put my effort, that's what I get. If I put it in the wrong place, then I will get the results, but it's going to be temporary. So that is the sar of this whole thing.
Can we go? I'm going a little deeper trying to understand this. I don't know whether my approach is right or wrong. When we say with this verse, it becomes more clear that, okay, whatever you want, you will get it.
If wait, when you say whatever you want, whatever you think you may not get because you are not wearing his hat, so just be cautious about it. अगर तुम्हारी वो डिजायर है तो तुमको, अगर तुम उसमें एफर्ट डालोगे तो मिलेगा तुमको. ट्रू.
या एफर्ट डालोगे और तुम्हारी डिजायर है तो वो तुम्हें मिलेगा.
राइट.
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 तो I'm trying to understand God deeper than what we think. So this is the universal energy, right? We say aham brahmasmi, मैं भगवान हूँ, मेरे अंदर भगवान है, मैं भगवान का रूप हूँ. So it means the Bhagwan is something which is all around us. This is that universal energy, that universal vibration, which we are surrounded with it. So, and there is everything exists in this universe. So when we deeply concentrate, we deeply meditate, we deeply desire, we deeply bhakti, whatever we do, when we put deep effort in that thing, we achieve it. So is that God?
I think that you are talking about what consciousness is, right? Is that what you are trying to ask?
No, I'm trying to put God in a...
What is when you say God, that is where the confusion happens. Do you think that God is somewhere sitting over there? God is whatever you said, all pervading, and the name given in Vedanta for God is consciousness. So whether you call it God or I call it consciousness or Paramatma, it's the same thing. Like Param Atma, we have, like, we individually, when it expresses through us, we call it Atma, and otherwise we call it Paramatma. So the word God has many 100 different names, but we are talking about the same thing.
That's that consciousness.
Yes.
That's that consciousness, and that consciousness is when we merge our individual consciousness with this cosmic consciousness, we can achieve whatever we want.
So now I have one issue over here. When you keep saying we merge, what Vedanta says is you can purify your mind and the consciousness will decide whether you are ready for merging or not. It's not in my hands.
Oh yeah, no, it's not in my hands.
Yes, okay, good. Because sometimes I know that how we put it, sometimes the language is limited. True.
No.
Yeah.
I know it's not in our hands because to merge our individual consciousness with cosmic consciousness is not a simple task.
So another thing I wanted, see, these are the concepts. When you clarify, then you know. So what Vedanta says is there is nothing happening. You are already it. And the example is the space. I may think that I have divided the space and put it in my house, but the truth is space is not divided. I have just put 4 walls and I'm calling it the space. Same way, I think I am separate.
See, there is no we.
Yeah, right. There is no we.
There is only one consciousness which goes through you.
So basically what it is a self-realization. All I have done is now I know. It's like the wave knows I am ocean. Wave knows whether I stay above or I go under. It does not matter. I merge or I have my own little thoda sa maza kar liya upar uchal gayi main. So it's the same thing. That's all Vedanta is saying, that it is one, but and that's called the ego when I feel separate. Yeah, no, I'm separate. So all this journey that we are doing is for that. Okay. So why don't we do one thing? We let's finish this verse and then we can take this more deep in the last half an hour. Otherwise, we won't move forward.
Okay. Makes sense.
Similarly, here the Lord says, I, as life, lend my power to all without any partiality, in whatever form they invoke me. In that form, I serve them. An electric plug in the house can be made use of to hear a song over the radio, to cool ourselves with a breeze of a fan, to boil water, to cook or to warm the room with a heater. It all depends upon what instrument we plug into it. It is never possible that electricity flowing through the fan of its own accord can start emitting fire or light. Similarly, the unmanifest eternal force of life can be invoked, and it shall fulfill all desires through us according to the type of our invocations.
This is also a very, very powerful example. It opened up another aspect of it. That when you plug in the power, in our electric socket, we will get the electricity. What you plug in, uske hisab se milega tumko. So what at one place Swamiji said, hey, you wanted heat and you plugged in the air conditioner and then you start screaming. Hey, why am I getting cold? Hey, it's your fault. You are the one who if you want a warm, then put the heater there. So other way he explained was so good. He said, Bhagwan is like the contractor. And you give him the blueprint of your life. Okay? And he builds the house. And then after the house is built, you say, ye kya banaya hai? To bola, तूने ही तो दिया था मुझे. You want a different house, then give me a better blueprint. See how it works? So what we get, that's how that karma thing comes, what Geeta ji was talking about. Whatever I have done, I'll get the result accordingly. If I don't like it, change my karmas. Change my approach, change my thing, and give him a new blueprint. Then he will give you the house. Oh, yeah, this is a beautiful house. Hey, but Bhagwan only gives you what you want. That's how that what you want comes in. That, all whatever I have done. So if I do it with understanding, with knowledge, so my results will be better. Basically, that's what it's saying. Otherwise, we will be just kicking and screaming.
Well, isn't it the same thing as free will?
Free will that is the most powerful thing that we are given. That's why exactly what you said, that it is because of free will we end up doing wrong things. Because animals nobody can put an animal in a jail. It uska swabhav hai. If they do certain things, that's because that is their swabhav and you have gone in their territory. If they're left in the jungle, they'll be totally fine. But us, we have this papa punya and all that, and even one of the Swami said all the scriptures are meant for humans only because of that free will, because we have this tendency to do wrong things, so the scriptures kind of guide us and do it the correct way. So we are the ones, humans are the one who have been given free will.
Just as in safe riding and in accidents, it is the same petroleum that gives the power for the inner apparatus to move forward, so too in a Buddha and in a murderer, it is the same divine force that gives the capacity to do, to act, and to achieve.
So he has given so many examples. Each one is a beautiful one, right? That you have been given all, जैसे पता है सारे raw material दे दिया है तुमको. अभी तुम उसका क्या करोगे? उसकी तुम खिचड़ी बनाओ, चाहे कोई अच्छा पकवान बनाओ, चाहे some really bad food बना दो. That is up to you. I thought this was just very beautifully expressed by Swami.
And I think the most powerful example is atomic energy.
Yes.
You can destroy
entire earth if you want to right now.
Entire earth. Yeah. Or you can pacify the entire earth.
Exactly. You can, people can get their electricity energy. True.
If God be thus free from all attachments and other evil passions, He, the Lord, must be gracious to all creatures alike and must be able to grant them all their desires. Then, why is it that ordinarily men do not desire to seek the Lord and gain the infinite? Listen why it is so.
So what we can do is that we won't be able to finish that next verse completely, but since we have 10 minutes, we can talk about it, what it's going to be, the next verse. So now the question is that, like I had posed earlier, that अगर मोक्ष सभी को मिल सकता है, तो फिर सब लोग छोटी मोटी चीज़ों के लिए क्यों जाते हैं? That's the whole question, Okay, now I know that, Bhagwan can give everything. And then why are you not going? Because he tells you that जिस ढंग से हमारा इंद्रियाज है ना, इंद्रियों का satisfaction हमको बहुत अच्छा लगता है, number one. and number 2 उसमें क्विक रिजल्ट आता है, तो हम बस उसी में फंस जाते हैं. जैसे very simple example, if I want to drink a cup of tea, so I go in the kitchen and I have everything, and then I put everything together, in 5 minutes I have a beautiful cup of tea, and then so good. That is Indriya Sukh, whereas, so that's more of result of action that I got. What moksha is a result of knowledge, which is not that easy to grasp, and purity of mind and all that. These are more subtle things. So लोग है ना, they don't go that route. वो ऊपर से, and जब वो इंद्रिय satisfaction मिलता है ना, उसमें bondage हो जाती है फिर. We know that, we get attached to the result, and then, I want more of this, and I go after it again, and then the whole cycle starts, and then मेरे कर्म फल अभी बाकी हैं, तो मुझे और दूसरे जन्म लेने पड़ते हैं. See how वो बंध जाता है आदमी. That's the point they're going to bring, that it is just that the indriya satisfaction is a very powerful thing and instant results, and people just get attached to those things. That's why they don't go after that. That's what is going to touch upon this.
Umaji, is this where knowledge comes in? It gives you the power to discriminate
Yes.
between the real and real.
That's called